Welcome back to Success with Steven. My name is Steven Smith. On this channel, we talk about everything financial literacy. And today I have a really good video for you guys with some information that I'm very excited to actually share. I recently went to a Navy Federal branch, one that was here in Las Vegas. If you live here, it's only a couple of them, right? So I sat down with someone because I was looking into getting some loans. And when I sat down with him, he gave me some really good information on how to get a 450, a perfect internal Navy Federal credit score. And if you don't know what an internal score is with Navy Federal, we're going to talk about that. Recently, I released a video on how to get an $80,000 credit card, the flagship with Navy Federal. On that video, I talk about a strategy that anyone can use, whether your credit is good, whether your credit is bad. It's a strategy that you basically use and do things that essentially increase your internal score. Now, when you increase your internal score, it gives you a better chance of getting products and services with Navy Federal because they don't just consider your personal FICO 9 TransUnion score or whatever scoring model that they're using, because they also use Experian for the business side. It matters, but it's like in conjunction with that, you also have this internal score that really is based on the things that you do with them. Okay, so it's like you don't just have to rely on just having a super high credit score like a 700 and just think that the door is just open for you and you can get everything. Recently, one of our subscribers, and I think I pinned that actual comment that he made. He had a 580 credit score and was able to get $11,000 for a flagship credit card with Navy Federal. Now, that doesn't mean that his personal credit score may not have been high, but maybe he had no derogatory marks and he was in the process of rebuilding, but maybe it looked like this could have potential. And then maybe he did some things with that strategy in order to put himself in position to get a high internal score. So even with having a low credit score or bad credit, he was able to still get a very high credit limit and a very good credit card. So that's why this is important. That's the reason why I'm excited to share this information and why I think that, everyone should implement these things if they can in order to increase their internal score with Navy Federal, whether you're a member or whether you are planning to become a member in the future. So, let's get started with these things that I actually learned while I was at Navy Federal. First thing, for Navy Federal, direct deposit and having that flagship checking account. Now, I talked about this in that same video, but I want to give more information on how this actually will increase your internal score. So, stability and predictability. This is a really big thing with Navy Federal, and this kind of works with all financial institutions, other credit unions, banks. Direct deposit, it provides a stable and predictable source of funds. A customer has a paycheck or other forms of income. When it's directly deposited into your bank account, it ensures a regular flow of money into that bank. Recently, I did another video how to create paycheck stubs, but also how to set up direct deposit if you're self-employed. So now I pay myself through my business. I just got an email, seriously, like right before I made this video, I got an email saying that my cash rewards card, my cashback increased from 1.5% to 1.75% because I have direct deposit again. So they're recognizing the deposit that I'm making through my business as my direct deposit. So if you're someone who's self-employed or has a business and you wonder how you can do this, I have a video on that as well. Again, if you have a question, I'm just trying to make sure that for any type of, I don't know how else to call it, but any excuse or anything that you think can prevent you from doing something, I want to have a counter to that argument, because I really do believe that if you stop making excuses and reasons why you can't, you'll see that there's plenty of solutions. The solutions are everywhere. They're infinite. You just have to change your mindset. So even if you're self-employed, you can do this too. Now, it's reduced cost. So direct deposit actually reduces the cost associated with handling paper checks with Navy Federal, and it saves money on printing, processing, mailing, when members opt into this. So Navy Federal likes to see that because it will save them money and it helps streamline their operations. So it does reduce expenses. All of this stuff is very important when you want to increase your internal score. Retention. So when they offer this, it retains customers, because normally when you have your direct deposit with an institution, you're very rarely going to go somewhere else. What's cool is you can actually have a direct deposit for a small amount, and you could spread your direct deposit among many banks. So most of your jobs will have this, where if you go into like, Workday, Workforce, whatever it is that you're using, you can actually disperse your deposit into many different banks. Essentially, you will still have the direct deposit feature. So just know that it's not like you have to only do this with one place. You can spread it amongst a bunch of other banks. So just be aware that that's something that you can do. It increases the engagement. So it encourages members to engage more with their bank account. When members have income that's going directly into their bank, they're more likely to use other products and services like bill pay, savings accounts, and other features. As of now, they're actually offering a special savings with the free flagship checking account if you have an average daily balance of $1,500 or more. $10 if you have less than $1,500. So just by knowing that, you can see that Navy Federal is incentivizing members to maintain a certain balance in their account, and this will increase your internal score significantly. So these are all reasons why having that is super important and why you want to enroll in this. Even if you're only going to do a partial enrollment, I recommend doing that. And if you can at least maintain an average daily balance of $1,500, it'll save you the $10 for the flagship. Having that premier tier account does also help. So if you can, do that. Now let's talk about the pledge loan. Now with the pledge loan, and you may know this too, I have a video on this. If you want an in-depth review on the pledge loan, how it works, how it helps, I recommend that you watch that video as well. I'll probably link them at the end. So you utilize your Navy Federal pledge loan to boost your credit score. Lots of people have been doing this. It can increase your score, seems to be an average of 40 to 60 points. This strategy involves depositing anywhere from $250 all the way up to $100,000, initiating a pledge loan, a secured loan, and then paying off 90% either immediately, or you can wait a month for it to report. That's your choice. This method diversifies your credit portfolio. So when you have your credit profile, this will give you a good credit mix. It'll also show that you can handle large amounts of loans and that you're paying them back on time. It also will increase your credit score because payment history is 35% of your overall score. So a majority of your score comes from on-time payments. The longer you have this loan, the more on-time payments get reported, the better that it will improve your credit score. So it really has really great effects as long as you're doing it for a lengthy amount of time. A shorter amount of time, it will help initially, and then once it's gone, you're gonna not have any more, on-time payments that are reporting. So then it may lose some of that help because your score may take another hit once it's paid off. But initially, it does help. I recommend doing longer periods of time. It doesn't have a hard inquiry. That's another great benefit. So I believe my internal score was around like 304, somewhere around there, out of 450 in my first 6 months. Then I got a pledge loan. I also did get a secure credit card too, but I got the pledge loan. I did a $501 pledge loan for 12 months. And when I finished doing that, my internal score was about 402 out of 450. When that happened, when I paid the pledge loan off, maybe this was, I don't know if it was the same thing, but when I paid off my pledge loan, that's when my secure card actually graduated. I only did a $200 deposit. I got that back. And then my secure card graduated to $2,000, and then I was able to keep raising that up. So that's just something that I want to recommend that you guys do. I'm not sure if it was a combination of both, but I will say that it brought my internal score up very high from that 304 to that 402. And the way that it was told to me is that when you do a pledge loan, apparently from what the guy in Navy Federal told me, they earn a small amount of interest. Now, if you go onto the website, you'll actually see this. They earn 2% of interest on the pledge loans, and then they earn 3% of the interest if it's longer than 61 months. So while you're increasing your credit score, you're also boosting your internal credit score. That's the benefit for you. The benefit for Navy Federal is that they're earning interest off of this. They really like to see that you're using their products and services. When you leave money in credit union, it's helping them. So really what you're seeing is there's a mutual beneficial relationship going on between us, the members, and the credit union, because when we get all of these products and services, it does help make them a small amount of money. And yes, it seems like it's a very small amount on the individual level, but if we look at the macro level, when you're doing this for a couple of million people, it adds up to a large amount. So just know that your small contribution is helping in the bigger picture, and that does help increase your internal score overall. Now, this is one that I rarely hear anyone talk about with Navy Federal, but it's an Easy Start certificate. If you guys want, I can cover an entire video on this particular thing. I have not done that yet. So investing in the Easy Start certificates with an amount ranging from $50 to $3,000, you can do that for 12 to 24 months. This can significantly enhance your relationship with Navy Federal. So these certificates offer APY benefits, so you can earn a little bit on there, and it's demonstrating a solid financial commitment and aiding your credit score at the same time. So the minimum deposit is as low as $50. You can do as low as $50. The terms are available from 12 to 24 months. You can add money at any time. There's no maximum purchase, and you can open multiple certificates, and you can renew it up to 21 days after the maturity date. They're just another tool that you can use to help improve your relationship. Some of us are not in the position or are not going to do auto loans right now. Some of us aren't going to look at mortgage loans with them right now. So you can also have those. But if you don't have a mortgage loan and you don't have an auto loan, then you could do a pledge loan. You can also do a certificate. All these things help. In my opinion, I don't think the amount matters. I just think that you're using the product is what matters with Navy Federal. So again, with my internal score, I never did one of these, but it makes me wonder, what if I would have done an Easy Start certificate and a pledge loan and a secure credit card, a flagship checking account, and direct deposit at the beginning? You could go as low as $50 on this, or you could do a pledge loan for $200. Yes, you can actually take that money, you get it back, then you can pay off 90%, get the 90% back, then take that money and then do the secure card for as low as $200. So you can completely just keep moving this money around. So for the most part, for you to have all of these products, it may only cost you like less than $300 to do all of these. It doesn't really cost much. And then wait, 90 days to kind of have those direct deposits build up? That might increase your internal score right there. That might get you very close to a 450. So again, just all things that you can keep in mind. I haven't talked about the Easy Start certificates. So if that's something that you would want more information on, then just let me know. I'd be more than happy to make a video on that. I have really not seen anyone on YouTube talk about this, which is why I was so excited to actually get this information from this guy at Navy Federal. I mean, he was really, really, really nice, and he just gave me the rundown on all the things and just gave me every single reason why these actual products and services actually make money for Navy Federal and why they're going to look at you in a really good light and why it helps your internal scores. So yeah, if you appreciate this information, definitely like and subscribe. We already know having any of Navy Federal credit cards, including the N Rewards, the secure card, it'll greatly improve your internal score just based off what I told you, right? Every single bank makes money from interchange fees. All of them do. When you swipe that card, the more you use it, the more money that you're making for that traditional bank, that credit union, whoever. That's the reason why they want you to use their card, okay? They make money from these interchange fees. So that's how it will benefit Navy Federal. Now, again, what I'm realizing is it really doesn't matter. It seems like the limit that you get, all you have to do is be actively using this product. Just use it. And hopefully you're starting to notice the trend here. There's a trend. You need to get products that make Navy Federal some money. That's it. The more you use this, the more it helps them. And in turn, they're going to help you. So swipe your card, make money. The more transactions that you make and that you pay back, it helps. It really, really, really will help. And again, this is why I'm saying, even if you're working on your credit, this does not prevent you from getting this started. You can, even if I had a 480 credit score when I first started, I was able to get the N Rewards card. Yes, it was a hard inquiry. I did make a deposit of $200. Okay. I was able to do that. Again, you can take the same 200, start a $201 pledge loan. I recommend at least doing the $501 for 12 months or longer. I recommend doing it longer because when you pay off 90%, you get the funds back. I recommend doing that. getting the M Rewards card if that's all that you qualify for, and then taking the rest of the money, sitting it in your account, your flagship checking, at least $1,500, to now not have a fee every month. And now you have that balance, you have this, you have that, you can get a certificate. All of these things are going to greatly improve your internal score. It does not cost you a lot of money to be able to do all of this. And the benefit that you get, the payoff is going to be much greater than what it costs you to actually do this. So definitely, again, it doesn't matter what level you start at. You start at the N rewards, cool. Anyone can do it. You start at the level of cash rewards, cool. That's fine. Get yourself in there, but you want to get all of these products and services. All right, so I want to talk about 3 other tips, other key factors that I want you to consider. Credit line increases. So requesting a credit line increase with Navy Federal, it can instantly improve your utilization overall. It's a key factor in your credit scoring, okay? You want to utilize the Navy Federal app for a soft pull. When you don't do the Navy Federal app and you try to call, there have been reports that you will get a hard pull for a credit line increase. So you want to utilize that, and it will minimize the impact of having that hit on your credit score. So definitely go ahead, ask for credit line increases if you already have a card with them, just because it can greatly increase your credit score if your utilization is high and maybe you're not in the place to pay off a lot of debt right now. Increasing the limit can also help reduce that ratio. Okay. Optimal payment timing. Now, this kind of goes without saying, of course, but paying your credit card on the statement close date, not on the due date, it can maximize your credit score boost. All right. Now, this is something that just, again, it kind of goes without saying, but this strategy can elevate your score by 30 points, emphasizing the importance of having strategic payments. And what I mean by that is essentially, if you pay down your utilization, like let's say down to 10% right at the closing cycle date, and that reports, it's going to look very, very good. It's going to look like you're paying your card and you're not using much of the limit. That can also help. The credit line increases another way. I'm just saying some things where you want to consider these other factors, because regardless to having a high internal score, like let's say you do all of this and you get a 450 perfect internal score. If you want to help yourself a little bit more, improve your credit score, at least get to like a 650, 680 range. And if you can, try to get rid of all the derogatory information. All of this will greatly, greatly, greatly help you. And then of course, maintaining a high credit score, that leads us right to that. So focus on optimizing payment history, your utilization, your credit age mix, and new credit. These components significantly influence your credit score, with on-time payments and utilization being the most impactful. So they contribute 35 to 30% of your score respectively. And of course, if you've been on this channel for a while, I've already talked about this a whole lot. So I know you're already aware of this, but if you're new and you haven't been here, then I want you to know that maintaining a high credit score is very important. Now, with Navy Federal in this particular topic, yes, having a high internal score is really, really good. Having a high internal score does not make up for having poor credit or having a majority of like derogatory marks. Now, what I'm saying is, even with bad credit, it does not stop you from getting these higher limits or getting things with Navy Federal. But if you have a credit report with a bunch of derogatory marks and you owe like 10 collections, 10 charge-offs, that you got to clean that up. You just have to, because having bad credit or low credit is one thing. Having a credit report where you have a bunch of accounts that you didn't pay on is something totally different. Okay. You got to understand, those things are not the same thing. Having a bunch of derogatory marks and having a low credit score is not the same exact thing. You can have a 700 credit score and get denied from having one collection or one charge off, because they're going to say you have too many accounts that you haven't paid back. Even with the 700 credit score, I've had one and been denied, not by Navy Federal, but other places, by having that. Now with Navy Federal, I've had 2 charge-offs and still had my credit card graduate to get a $2,000 limit. So again, I'm not saying that with Navy Federal, I'm just saying in general, you want to take care of that, because you can't, you're not going to just go to Navy Federal. You want to go to other places and maximize, right? So you want to have a high internal score, but just know that if you want to get the full effect of the benefits, you do need to make sure that your credit score is in good shape, or as the best shape that you can get it in. So I'm not saying it has to be perfect. I'm just saying that you need to get it in the best shape that you possibly can in order to help yourself. You just want to put yourself in the best position possible to be able to win. That's all I'm saying. Put yourself in the best light that you possibly can in the eyes of these institutions. And, just really try to make sure that you're maintaining all these things at the same time as doing these other options to increase your internal score. Those are all the things that were mentioned to me. I wrote down as many of them as possible and then just added some additional benefits that I heard, and then added some of those details about, why does this help? Because I think it's not just important to understand, what you should do. It's better to understand how it works. So now you have an understanding of why this benefits the institution, credit union, even the traditional bank, why they want you to do these things, and how it could help you. Because the same way that they have an internal score, I believe that every bank has some sort of internal scoring model that they use in order to grade you. Because you see people get denied all the time, even with a 700, 750 credit score, they get denied. It's happened to me, and I can tell you plenty. I've had it to where they told me, because I don't have a bank account, I don't have a relationship, I didn't. These things actually do matter. So you could take this same internal scoring video with Navy Federal, and you can apply a lot of these same things to another traditional bank. This is all really good information. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Very, very glad that I was able to go in there. Glad I was able to get this information and ask these questions. If you have any other products or services that you use with Navy Federal, if you know your internal score and you've gotten it increased over a certain period of time, drop what you've done to increase your internal score into the comments. Someone may want to ask you, what did you do? How did you get that internal score? Where did you start? All this information is good, especially when we can share it with each other. So please, by all means, I'm definitely curious to know where did you start? What products have you gotten? And where are you now? Please leave that in the comments. You guys have a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching. And again, thank you.